Hi, I'm Brady Ellison. In the second part of this preparation series, we're going to talk about the mental side. I'm going to tell you how I prepare mentally in training for tournaments and ultimately how I get ready mentally for the Olympic Games. So when I'm mentally preparing for anything, whether it's training or it's going to a competition and even the Olympic Games, there's a lot of the same things that I do. One of the biggest ones that I do is mental imagery. And what I mean by mental imagery is picturing yourself overcoming obstacles in your head. What I mean by this is, say I'll go on the training field one day and I'll be sitting there and be like, all right, I want to shoot this type of score. Let's just say it's a 350 at 70 meters. Yeah, that's a world record. That's something that's going to be there. I'll try all day to shoot it. Maybe shoot 345, get close to it. And then that night I'll go back to the room and mentally I'll sit there and I'll shoot round after round after round, shooting 351, 353. It'll be windy, it'll be rainy. All different conditions, all different scenarios, but I'm constantly making those 36 good shots that it takes for me to shoot that 350. And what that's going to do is mentally and in my subconscious, I'm going to start becoming that person, and I'm going to start mentally thinking that I can shoot it. Therefore, physically, there's going to be adjustments that are going to be made and stuff like that that my brain's just going to do, and I'm going to start shooting those scores. So I want to tell you a little story of just how this mental imagery has helped me just, last week. I've been shooting 70 meters all year. At the end of last year, I was shooting good FIDA scores. Well, I have a FIDA coming up in the next couple of weeks in competition. So I've been thinking about how I was shooting at the end of last year in the FIDAs and how I feel I'm shooting now. So I think I'm shooting better now than I did at the end of last year. So in my head, I'm sitting here thinking, well, this is last year, this is what I was shooting. So now I should be shooting this, and just thinking about myself shooting those scores at each distance. Well, I stepped up there and got on the first distance and I shot, and it was shooting pretty good, shooting easy, and went up there and I was like, that's a pretty good score. I like it. It's not the best I've ever shot, but it's definitely a great starting point. I mean, already shooting the same score that I was at the later of last year. So the next one I step up there, did the same thing, 70 meters, and shot really well. Step up to 50 and shot one of the best scores I've ever shot at 50. Did the same thing at 30. I get done, I look down at the scorecard, I've shot my personal best I've ever shot in competition or practice, and I am shooting better this year, but I stepped into that FIDA thinking that I could shoot the scores that I've never shot before, just because in my head for these last 2 or 3 weeks I've been thinking that I could do it. So when I stepped up and actually started shooting it, my mind was already telling me about my body that, hey, this is how we shoot, so let's go knock it out. Now, another thing that I do, and since Olympic trials for me is coming up later next year, and getting ready to try to make the 2012 team and compete in London in 2012, is I like to take past experiences like the last time I was in the games in 2008 and take the situations and scenarios that I saw at those games and think about them and try to put them into a new setting for London. I haven't seen what London is or like the venues, but I know what China was like. I know the sounds, I know the cameras, I know how things are going to work. So mentally, I could take what I saw and experienced in China and I could put it towards preparing myself and getting ready for what I'm going to see and experience in London 2012. Another thing that I mentally prepare for, and you guys might laugh, is food. And I'm not saying food here, but like food in different countries. Could be a lot different. When I'm in another country, I still need to compete on the top of my game. That's why we go over there and shoot on that international level. And when you're not eating the same foods, your body may not be charged fully like you are on a day-to-day basis with what you're normally eating. Mentally, you can prepare for that by imagining eating things that are out there and just visualizing what you might eat. You might have to do a little research on the common meals and stuff in the area, but just in your mind get used to eating that food, so when you actually see it and start putting it into your system, it's not so out of the ordinary. mental side of it, what we just concluded, we really went over the mental imagery and visualization and the different areas that you could work on with this imagery to really improve your game and get up there so you can start shooting and physically and mentally be at that next level.